I have a super special guest, the creator of the game, Dan V from Holy Wow. Welcome, Dan.
Yeah, nice to meet you. How's it going? I feel like you got in on the ground floor of this because the past week has been crazy. But you messaged us like a while ago. I'm like
Yeah,
going through the emails. Yeah,
it seems like people are into it.
I'm exhausted because of like, well, first of all, we work full-time jobs for the moment. Come say hi. Sorry, I've got on this headphone thing so Jackie can't hear you. This is my wife Jackie.
Hi, wife
She
Jackie.
Holy Wow is just us two basically. We've done previous games where it's been like more of a 50-50 split. Trombone Champ is mostly my project. She helped with a bunch of artwork and stuff. And so like the whole game has been like a nights and weekends thing. I've been doing just like I've been working on this for a long time, but especially since launch, it's been really hard just like continuing work and then
Yeah.
doing all this stuff at work at night and like during lunch. But whatever, I can't complain. I don't want to complain.
No, exactly. Yeah, a good problem to have.
Yeah, no, it's nice to meet you. I see one trombone back there. Looks like there's
Yeah,
a rack for multiples.
there's usually many. I'm just about to move, so I
Oh yeah,
have them all boxed up. But yeah, there's usually many trombones back there.
I don't play trombone. I do have. You probably can't see it. I do have a P bone in the corner, a
Oh, you
purple one.
do? Was
I
that
got it.
for reference, or did you have it
Yeah,
before?
I got that for reference halfway through developing the game because I think when I first posted screenshots or something, people were immediately like, "Oh, his hands are in the wrong spot," because
Mm,
I had it grabbing, I had it like holding. I don't know what you call it, but like the back loop and
yeah.
behind the bell. And people are like, "No, no, no." So I said I should buy one just so I know what it feels like in your hand.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's this kind of thing in trombone world of like trombones are not animated correctly ever.
mm,
They don't look right, or it's like weird. There's a really famous Family Guy clip where he plays trombone, and it
yeah.
like breaks physics because you look at like one angle and the tubes go one way, and you look at the other angle and like they never connect
It's difficult. Like, is it a naturally difficult instrument, would you say?
to play.
Yeah.
I would say it is really easy to be bad and really hard to be good. So
It's kind of like
like
the game. Yeah, so
yeah,
the game actually is accurate in that way then.
yeah, there's like you can make a sound and you can
Yeah.
get close, but actually having that like accuracy of pitch and dexterity, like that hump is a lot higher versus something like a saxophone where it's kind of
Yeah.
hard, but then once you make it past that, like it's a lot easier to sound good.
Yeah. Like I played saxophone throughout high school. And but then later for some reason I became interested in clarinet just because I like the tone of the clarinet. It's
Hmm.
like especially like jazz clarinet. Then when I played the clarinet, I was like, oh man, like saxophone is easy mode compared to the clarinet because like
Yeah.
it's just the way it's designed. It's like the same fingering and you just push an octave key and it just goes up.
Yeah.
But previously, like whenever I talk about the game, I would tell people like I don't know if I'll make $1, $10, $100. I have no clue. Like
Yeah.
it's because it's a niche thing, and I'm like, no one's who's gonna. How many people are really gonna want to click the buy button on a game
Listen,
that's called Trombone
I
Champ?
have
Yeah,
been making trombone videos for a decade with that exact question in my mind
yeah,
every single time.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what the threshold is. And every
Huh.
time, like, another 100 people watch my videos or something, I'm like, maybe this is the threshold. And then,
Yeah,
like, yeah, who knows? But I could tell
it's a
you
mystery.
for sure, 100% of the people watching this video want to play this game. So,
Yeah. In my mental picture, it was like a big rubber trombone. So like as you're doing this, it's also just like
yeah,
flopping around and resisting you.
yeah, yeah.
But the mental picture is basically the game is that it exists right now, except, just like in a physical space.
Hmm.
And then at some point in the future after that, I had the idea like, oh, I wonder if I can emulate the trombone motion with the mouse. Like if you move the mouse forward and back,
Right.
if that would be like using a slide. So I made like a little prototype. It was basically that you just move the mouse forward and back and it played the sound. And I posted a video under my personal account, not my Holy Wow account. Um, and usually in that account, I have no followers. It's just me just doing whatever. And it
Hmm.
got a lot more likes than usual. Like it was being shared around. So at that point, I said like, oh, this is a funny idea. It has legs. A big piece of advice everyone says to each other is like start small because it's so easy to keep adding ideas,
Right.
especially if you're like a new developer. It's so easy to be like, I want to make an open world game with this and this and this, and you
Yeah.
just never finish it because
Right.
it's just so much work. So it's like music game, trombone. It's small, it's easy. I could pump it out in 6 months. So I just started work on it. Then it took so much longer than six
Of
months.
course, yeah.
So much longer. I was saying, start to finish, like from the time I posted the prototype to the time like the Steam page went live for the game is like 4 full years. But
Wow.
but I didn't work on it, like every night for 4 years.
Yeah.
We work full-time jobs, so it was all nights and weekends.
What's next for it? Like adding songs?
We had an idea for like a post-launch roadmap, which is
Mhm.
started off a little smaller. We wanted to add songs. There were a handful of like critical things we wanted to do, like we want to add more control modes and like accessibility features,
Sure.
which is really important for games now.
Hmm.
Um, I think we always thought like if it was popular enough, we might make a Switch port, or we might
Oh,
or
sure.
look into a Switch port or something.
Hmm.
But now it's popular, so like
Yeah.
it's like kind of exploded way past our wildest expectations. So I mean, all these things that I was like, I might do this. Now it feels like I have to do this. Like I'm
Yeah.
because you can't allow a game to get this popular and then just kind of like let it sit.
How crazy has it been?
It's been pretty crazy actually. Like it was on the Steam, like it was in like the Steam top seller list, like I think top at least top 10.
That's
There was a
amazing.
brief moment where it was like the top selling game above like God of War, which I found really funny. This is just like a silly, mostly joke of a game.
But that's what
I don't
people
know.
like. People see that and they understand that, and
Oh,
it's
I'm
like,
I'm I'm
yeah,
glad about that. I'm glad. I mean, I was concerned. Some parts concerned me. Like, first of all, I was concerned that trombone players like yourself would see the game and be like, it's not realistic. Like, because I know a lot about music. I know that the trombone doesn't work like this. I know
yeah,
it's not just like in and out like a slide whistle. I'd say
right,
like the game, it's more like a slide whistle than a trombone.
yeah. I would say that's fair.
But
The
the,
trombone is basically a slide whistle with a little bit
yeah,
extra.
it's a good way to put it. But yeah, I was concerned that trombonists would be like annoyed that it's unrealistic or that it's like disrespectful. Because yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I poke a lot of fun at the game pokes fun at everything. But
yeah,
that,
for sure.
yeah.
But I mean, of the people to make fun of, like, I would say the low brass folks are not even used to it, just like
They're used to
happy to be
it.
included. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah, make a game about us and we're gonna be happy. And yeah, I think if you made like a violin hero or something, it would be. I
Hmm.
think it would be a lot more of that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Not for nothing, the note mappings are quite good as well. Like
Oh, thanks.
even
Yeah.
like some Rock Band Guitar Hero stuff, sometimes the note mappings aren't great. And like
Hmm.
with something like this, you're actually playing the melody rather than
Yeah.
like you either hit the note or you don't, and like it'll play the correct thing or nothing, right? This is like
Yeah.
you're playing it, and so if that note mapping isn't good, then you're not going to play something that sounds good if you do it right anyway, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the big difference. That's the big difference I say too. Like in
yeah,
most rhythm games, you're not really playing the music. Like you're playing along with the music.
right.
But this game, like you actually are making the melody. Like, you hear your own sounds,
Yeah.
which is kind of makes it different. Yeah.
How did you do the note mappings? Is that
Oh
like through
man.
MIDI or like.
No, it's horrible. I built my own level editor, and it's not very polished because, I'm currently I'm the only one using it. But it's just this horrible thing where you just like you press left to go, left in the music, and you press right to go right. And you just press up to go up, and you press down to go down. Then like it's really hacky. Like you press N to start a note, then you go forward, then you push up or down, then you push N, and it like it'll draw the little note. And so it's just arduous. And I have like a copy paste feature too that I coded in. So, if I make like that's one saving grace. Like if it's like a verse, chorus, verse song, I could like copy the verse. So I don't need to do every single
Okay.
note. But it's currently super manually intensive and really slow
Wow.
sometimes. And it's horrible because again, like I can make games in Unity, but I'm not like a software engineer. So I'm not like smart enough to write software that takes MIDI and turns it into, data or something.
Yeah.
But ironically, like I think actually this morning I saw some guy who like taken some crazy song and he'd like modded it into the game already.
Oh,
And
oh
he
shit.
yeah, and he had the song in the game and it's like and it's a intense song. So I asked him like how'd you do this? He says, "Oh, I just wrote something in Python that turns MIDI into a track." And I'm like, "Oh man, it's like this guy and like in 2 hours this guy made something which is like would have saved me
Yeah.
100 hours of work.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to make eventually is just like a real level editor that's
Hmm.
public so people can hack together their own
Oh,
stuff.
that'd be
Um,
amazing.
it is amazing. I'm concerned about the legal aspect
Sure.
because my concern is that people, as soon as I release this, people be like, hey, here's the Beatles
Yeah.
discography, and then like I'll get sued into oblivion. There have been some really weird lawsuits about like copyrighted material appearing in software, even if it was put in by users.
Mm.
I don't know if it's still an issue, but I know you need
Yeah.
to be really careful about
Like
it.
like who's responsible for it? Is it the people who house the servers or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. What do you want from the trombone community? Because I promise I can get it for you.
first of all, the cards. I want to add more cards to the game. I think I mentioned this to you. There were a lot of trombone players that people recommended having the cards,
Hmm.
but they're really hard to reach out to sometimes if they're alive, especially
Yeah.
before the game was. There was a point where like I didn't even have a trailer for the game, so it's so hard to pitch that to people. It's like, do you want
Completely.
to?
Yeah, now that
Yeah,
it's out and popular, I'm sure it'd be much
yeah.
easier.
But I would love feedback on who, if there's any glaring omissions in the card screen, which I'm sure there are.
Well, I
I'm sure there's a
mean,
lot of them.
what's kind of fun about the cards is because they are these like no longer living historical
Hmm.
figures, they're not even the ones that like most people know about some of the time. Like a Melba Liston or something like that.
Hmm.
That is somebody that some like a super nerd like me knows, but
Yeah.
a lot of like kids growing up wouldn't know that, and so I'd imagine like weirdly this game will actually inform some people about some really cool historical trombonists.
I would like a little more diversity in the cards too.
Sure.
I think it's not a, I would like to think it's not a personal failing, but it's a failing of history. That
Yeah.
like there are times where I watch people play the game a little bit. There's so many streams, and I watch people opening cards and like, oh shit, it's all men. That's just how it was for so long.
Now it's gotten so much better,
Yeah,
and there's so many amazing underrepresented folks. But yeah,
yeah.
it for a long time, like for most of the history of the instrument, it was just these old white guys.
Most of like recorded musical history, like if you search
Yeah,
for just most famous or popular classical artists, it's 100% men.
yeah.
Like especially like literal classical, not just like orchestral. This is how it was. It's crazy. But also, I mean, just music for the
Hmm.
game beyond the cards. We want to add songs to the game, of
Hmm.
course, like a lot of them. We have like a bunch of them in mind. Um, I think there's been a lot of demand from the ska community, which I did not expect. That
Oh, that
kind
makes
of,
sense.
and I'm trying to think of like what other genres have I not even thought of
Hmm.
that would be funny to have a trombone just plopped on top. You do video game stuff, right? A lot of it I saw.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's some of my more popular stuff is these video game medleys. Um,
Yeah, I would love just some like straight 8-bit music with a trombone because there actually is like
yeah.
there's multiple sound packs in the game. There's an 8-bit soundtrack.
Oh, cool. We could
Mm.
we could make you an 8-bit song. That'd be fun.
We have a little bit of a budget now too because the game is making money. So yeah, we'll
Well,
pay. We don't expect anyone to just donate their their
listen.
sweat and blood to a game. You shouldn't have to donate your work to a game that's
No,
successful.
that's successful. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it weren't successful, I'd still want to do it because it's an
Yeah.
awesome game. So yeah, everybody get the game now. It's out fully out. Yeah.
It's fully out. Yeah, we're going to be updating it over time. There's a lot of stuff we want to add. Again, at the moment, we're just kind of overwhelmed because the demand is so much higher than we thought.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be updated. It'll be better.
Is
It'll get better and it'll get bigger over time. So
well, cool. Well, thanks for chatting with us.
yeah, thanks. I'm sure we'll need advice from real trombone people as we expand this thing and develop new ideas. Phil,
We got
is there a
you.
trombone Discord or something?
There's a couple of them. Yes.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
should join.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe I should
I'll throw
join.
you my Discord link.
Nice talking to you. Hello, trombonists. Hope you enjoy the game. Please don't kill me and enjoy your lives. And I hope you enjoy Trombone Champ.